Oh, no, didn't want it that way. Let's go over here, flip the camera around, put the comment section up. You know what I feel like right now? I feel like Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Today's Christmas live. It's going to be responding to your questions. At the same time, I respond to your questions. I will be adding in some base information. When I say base information, it means an equation in the puzzle that will be used to dissect, okay, whether a shape or a word, whether it's an angle, etc. So just give me a second. I'm going to get a little bit of music over here. Maybe a little bit of alphabet music or something, right? So let's see. Soma FM radio. Open the player. How you doing, Ralph? This is all numerology. This is numerology science that goes along with every aspect of our life. Do I do any readings? Very little, because my analytics on the readings are so deep. It's going to tell you more about how you connect to the moon or to other planets. Oh, look, there's, how you doing, everybody? And I think there's a, okay, I see that. Right, Aaron and Matt and... T'es pas changé ton nom? C'était pas Elamia? No? Oh, what happened to my camera? How is everybody? How is everybody? We're going to put on this little music here. Let me open the player. Right? Okay, the groove salad. Little ambience. No, I don't like that ambience. Let me look for something else. Space one. Okay. So for those who are new here, those who are returning, like I've mentioned in my past videos, it would be very nice to have some questions. Thank you for the gift. Much appreciated. I'm very interested in having questions thrown at me. I'm also very interested in sharing my analogy and understanding amongst the dance of numbers themselves. Thank you, Noah. Much appreciated. You know, when I see the word finger, like all I can think about are apes. And all I can think about is like that. Like you sent me a finger, and this was part of my discussion this morning. This finger. That when I woke up this morning, I have arthritis. You know, I'm over 60 and I had arthritis, right? So like that. That's the way I woke up this morning. So like when I woke up and I says, must mean about 1 minute, please, 1 minute, please. Or when you're going golfing, right? And the flagpole is standing up. And this one, what was this one? Right? This one is sports, right? This one is sports. And this one is, you're going to call me? Right? So how do we use our fingers a little bit different? But what I like to do about my fingers sometimes is play some games. I believe that our creation, being here on this planet, there's a big question. They've written Bibles and books and Torahs and Korans, and there's so many discussions out there. There's a God this and a God that. And you know what? If I'm going to understand how our good Lord, whoever that creator may be it, unless I follow the Einstein, the Darwin theory, right? Unless I follow the Darwin theory, I can go along with any aspect, because for me, right, it's all about the word. It's all about what the word says within inside of itself. If it was a quantum system, a quantum computer, 16, that was created, quantum and quantum, 4 by 4, 4 plus 4, quantum and quantum. a 24 part, right? Is it the 4, or will it be 3 by 3 by 3? And it'll be a basic Rubik's Cube where 26 blocks will surround one Rubik's Cube. 26 blocks surround one core, so that has to be discussed. Now let me read what's over here so I don't go too far out into myself. And okay, that painting in the back, thank you very much, not mine. That is not my painting. I'm watching the dogs. I'm watching the dogs. I'm watching the cat. My cat's at home, and I'm watching the dogs. I can't possibly feed them both at the same time, but they can be eating at the same time because I left enough cat food at home. Okay, so what does it mean, or how can I read into it? I will find room 3974. Okay, so we're going to write down 3974. So the first thing that comes to my mind is the power angel, okay? And the power angel will be 39 for the word angel. And although power is 77, I'm talking more about electric power. And when you bring the 75 together, you're talking both male and female within the 7. But the male, right, becomes the gateway for the female, in which the male, okay, the male number will turn into a 9. And that's why I believe they say when you come to the birth on day 6, we become the 6. Do you follow what I'm saying? 9 and 5, they interchange with each other. The 3 turns around, it can become an E, because in creation, the 3 is your basics of creating 1 between 2. And that's your 3. It's 1 and 1, okay, creating 1 within, putting a heart within. 1, 1 and 1, or what is 3, 3 and 3. There's many ways to look at this, okay? But it's only a singular area. 9 base singular area, multiply it by the maximum, which is 7. Okay? We already have the 8 and the reality of the 9 that's here. Because we have the birth house, you come in supporting a moon. You come in as 6 and you automatically pick up the earth moon to the divided house. In that divided house, you will pick up the 2 moons of Mars. So you'll have that singular moon here to picking up the 2 moons of Mars. And now you have A, B, C all inside the design of A. That when you do have A, B, C, the design in A, you can turn the A upside down and you now have like a basin that you can live within. The A can be there's so many letters inside the A, right? One part of it is that when I take it and I put a straight line across, it's a D. If I only look at this side over here, it's a C. 3 reverse 4. Your A gets a split within it. So now we're going to get back onto the 3975. 53, 5 and 3, the E-world creation, right, is what gets capped, okay, with the 7 and 5. Although there's only 1 3, the 3 will get a cap with the 7, which means this, which means we can create a 10. We can create a crossing star of 10. One line of the crossing star. If we create the 9, we're going to be creating, let me show you my phone here. When you have the 9, you're going to creating 2, 7, 1, 8, 5, 4, and 3, 6. That's your 9 part. Your 39 can be the 39 outs, okay, in the bottom of the 7th of a baseball game, or in the 7th inning of the baseball game when you have the 7th inning stretch. Your 97, which could be your 67, which could be the flow. The 67 will be water. The 67 will be soul. And it's going to be the flow. Okay, right now you're going to have the flow with Earth and Uranus because you have number 73. I'm just trying to decline on something over here. So that there are 39 outs in the 7th inning stretch, 18 and 21. Now the 21 can be the 21 dots on the cube. The 21 can also be noted as 1 and 2, alpha beta coming into creation. The 0, 1, 2 is our base creation. The knowledge of your base creation is 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay? The 0, this one over here, will be below this one over here. Okay? So when you have this one over here, this is our base creation, 3 areas, right? This is the low side, this one over here. This one and this one are below this one. This one over here supersedes this one over here supersedes all these in individuals, but will come together when you combinate any one of these. If you want to have 2 8s, okay, you're going to end up with 4, 3, 3. And you're going to end up over here at the 7th gate. 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. This is the basics of all creation, 0, 1, 2. Counting 1 through 20 equals 210. Counting 1 through 15 equals 120. The game of pool and the game of darts. Understanding 2 sides of the cube are 1 and 2. Either you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you put that cube over here because the last part of the cube is the plug-in. If you have a chip, the chip has to be plugged in. So one side will be for the plug-in while the other sides will be for, perhaps for the receiver, for all the connections. But the cube, I'm not sure what my cube is. I'm a little upset that I don't have one cube on me, which is, anyways, we'll leave that out for now. Encourage your viewers to share your live. You want to share my life? You want to share my life? A friend of mine calls me this morning. He went for dinner at a friend's house, and he said, you got to tell the people this story. You got to tell the people this story. And my friend's about 60. And he's sitting down at the table with his friend and the kids. And one of the kids, this young girl, she says, you know what? I'm 20 years old. I want to have a boyfriend. So, so he says to her, he says, you should go out and, he says, dress to be more attractive, perhaps. He says, depending on what you want, are you want intellectual or what, right? And the grandmother says, just go out and don't wear underwear and feel it. So the grandmother's like 80-something. My friend looks at her and says, maybe a little more wine. Anyways, yeah, that was that. So I just lost everybody that was here, right? So 778. Anyways, let me look through here. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but he put that in my head. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, give me back a second. Okay, now what it can mean for one person or another, and I'm looking already just at your name of your avatar, right? Skylark. Sky is 55. We're in the month of December. It's 55, right? December is 55. It's a sky pass in December. The 25th is a gateway. 2 times 5, 2 plus 5 is 7 and 10. 7 and 1 come together. It's a rotation of time. Every 71 minutes is 1 hour and 11 minutes. You chose that name. You chose the name of the arc. The L that you put in there is an angle, right? Usually it'll pick up the minimum of 1/4 of a flat area space, meaning there's an angle here and an angle here, but there's all kinds of angles. But the angles through the pole is 2 of them, 12 and 12, 24, 4 of them to create your 4 90-degree separations, or 3 of them. So it'll be 36, 48. Anyways, regardless to that, I'm just looking through your name. You have an NDA disclosure, which means because you picked Lark, right? So you have inside that Lark name, I'm seeing the sun, I'm seeing creation and decay. You have 11 and 12. Your sun is within inside of you, but you have an NDA, which means a privacy agreement. I'm not sure if that's your private life, right? I'm not sure if that's what it means, because you're showing that 55, which is the half-life, the spirit of 76. Okay, it shows me the IT system in the sun, so it's talking more than once okay? That's something deep inside your heart you just want to keep for yourself. And thinking about this, back to the number of 39, hold on a second, back to the number of 3975. Your birth is at your gateway, okay? Your communication, okay? Your communication is with you. Let me just go this backwards. You have 8668, divided gate. What I did just now is I went 3975 and then I went 5793. And what happens is the 3 and the 5 go together for an 8. The 9 and the 7 go together for 16. 1 and 6 is 7. So you have 8, 7, 7, 8. Okay? And I still have to understand what the 8, 7, 7, 8. It's the king and the queen. I have to look into what that means. I don't think this is something for me to do alone. I can give you more where the numbers are at. You're somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out if you're having trouble communicating from your heart. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the 7 and 8 is 15, 1 and 5 is 6. But, okay, it's also showing me the 7 and the 8, okay, which is in between the 6 and the 9. So your communication is between 6 and 9. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 create the 6 and 9. Where these 7 and 8 come from is they come from the communication in general. 1 and 2 is where 8 and 7 void comes in. The 8 and 7 void plays in the house of bait, plays in this house where we are. The 1 and 2, I like to either set up as being 2 Venus, 1 Mercury, or where Mercury replaces itself with the lunar moon and Venus replaces herself, okay, with the 2 moons of Mars. So when we have 3 times 3, 3 plus 3, it also becomes together in that communication. If you understand where I'm coming from, that makes sense to you. Whoa. So if you're a teacher, it's obvious that you know you must be a student because all teachers teach what they've learned. You cannot teach something you do not know. So you're inquisitive and want to know more and you want to share and you want to do the due diligence. You're number 44. You want to tear it apart between the day and the night. 44 is going to be a number that's going to rip things apart, 2 parts and 1 part. 33 is a little bit different. It goes between in thirds, 44. I'm not sure which one is better to use. I've always didn't like 44, right? But it turns the day into a 2/3 day and a 1/3 day. I'm just trying to see the 44, the 8 and the 16. I'm just trying to see the differences between the two. Anyways, irrelevant to that fact. You know, every time I hear what somebody say the word indigo, it only means one thing to me, the child of light, right? And you have the association of go is going to go to what is ape, what is 88, what is the connection of the bow tie. The 2 bow ties. 8 and 8. What is 8 and 10? Well, look what we have. We have Roman numerals 10. It looks like 8. We have October, sounds like 8, but it's the 10th month. We have December, which is the 12th month, which the name Deca is the 10th month. What's happening at 10, 11, and 12? 11 will create the 12. It is 11 that brings everything into creation. So how do we get to 11? Is our first incantation to 11, 6, and 5, 11? Should we use A, B, C, D, E, and F? Is it A, B, C, D, or is it E and F? contemplate this. A, B, C, D equals to 10, E, F equals to 11. Window, 88. Pegasus, 88. Purple, 88. When you say it in French, you go 88, right? But 88, okay? 4 by 28. Here, you're going to go 107, without 7. 7, right? This says without 7. Although it says 107, when it's said in French to an English person, not so fast like me or bright, it's 10-7. It's also telling me about Earth. It also tells me about the cube, that the ring of the cube and the pole of the cube is E and F, 6 and 5. Now your base creation, right, is 1 and 2. And the reverse on that, okay, is going to be 6 and 5. It's undeniable. The truth I share with you is undeniable where we come from. All this that I tell you, if you bring this outside into the real world, right, and you look at it, it's going to tell you the absolute truth in the game that I present to you and outside the game, because all the information I use is from outside this game. And when I call it a game, it's because you join this channel. Whatever goes on in this channel, it's just a game. It's for entertainment purposes only, although it will share the truth as any other game. You play hockey, baseball, football, soccer, darts. They're all the truth of the game you play. You are participating within the game, and then you leave the game and you go live real life. You go to the bathroom, you go to the fridge, you go to the coffee maker, you go shovel the snow. But if you're looking for information, true knowledge, and transparency in creation, then you come here. And I will share with you everywhere I found this information, from a calculator to a dice cube to Rubik's Cube, to understanding children's toys, to knowing we are the children of creation. We are the extension. Go get me this, go get me that. You ever hear your grandfather say, can you get me this? My legs are sore, right? My legs are sore. We're the extension of the base creation. We live in the conscience of the Creator, fulfilling every demand. But as the One-Eyed King came out, we've been hijacked. We've been pirated. Yeah, we've been pirated. Somehow, control is lost. Then how can the good Lord that we are the extension of, how did we get lost into the game? Reboot, right? Just like the computers, you weren't going to do anything wrong, and reboot, right? Some of those malware that came in, and now you've got viruses all over the place, and Microsoft is trying to solve your problem for a Microsoft computer, for a Microsoft organism, right? But they don't know how it happened. That means they sold you a faulty service, because in this service here, can I be hijacked through the vibration? How does a computer get hijacked? You ain't no different. If you got a personal connection to the good Lord, how can you be any different? You have an IP address, I know. And I can only prove one thing about your IP address. I want you to go to the graveyard. You go to the graveyard, right? First thing when you walk in, or the last thing you say in the graveyard, and you see it on all the tombstones, R.I.P. ICRIP, I'm the resident angel, Chai Luck in Hebrew, 1818, 66618. Rest in peace for the quarter lives or the half lives that we are. The this, the that, the Holy Ghost, and all the dimensions of who we are. So we're only parts and quarters and others. Watch out for your heart. Watch out for your mouth. I'm not getting enough likes up here. There's not enough people watching. There's something going on. We need to know. I had a dream about a pink bracelet. Pink is 2525, so it's going to show a double gateway. Pink is a huge word because it's one of the very rarest of all words, and it will be related to gray. Gray and pink have something great in common, is their name changes when adding white. Okay, and pink is rose, so it might have something to do with the rose, and sometimes the rose have thorns upon them. So that would be the pink bracelet. It says set up a new goal. Let me see what my set up a new goal is. Yeah, it said set up a new goal, so I just did. I'm going to get a little bit of water in the kitchen. Give me a minute. I'm going to put this a little bit louder. Think of some questions you have. If you want to understand something a little bit different about astrological signs, and I'm still learning this right now, how the Western astrology passes through my night, and how the astrology for the Chinese astrology, right, is every 12 years. So have you ever thought of this? What happens in Western astrology that happens throughout the year, that happens throughout the 24-hour day? We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to run the 12 Chinese zodiac signs, right? Every, let me see this, every 2 hours divided by 12 years. I'm just going to guess, okay? We're going to run every sign of the zodiac, okay? Every 5 minutes is going to be a new sign of the Chinese zodiac, or every 10 minutes. And that's the way we're going to run the animals of the Chinese zodiac. We're going to see how many hours, right? Because the Chinese zodiac, right, since it's 12 years, right, and we have 12 of these, so we have to divide it by 12. So if I divide 2 hours by these 12 signs, that will be 20 minutes. Times 12 is 240 minutes. That would be 4. I'm just trying to, do you follow what I'm saying with this? So we have to pass the zodiac. The Chinese astrology, right, is going to possibly take maybe, since the Western astrology can go in 24 hours, what if the Chinese astrology, right, every 12 days, 1 per day, right? And then how many days will we go by before the Chinese signs start over? Every 60 days will it be? Or maybe it's every season that we're going to run through the complete Chinese zodiac signs, because we have multiple levels of energy of both the Western astrology that happens 24 hours a day, 2 hours, Capricorn at midnight, Capricorn at midnight, Aries, Aquarius at 2, Pisces at 4, Aries at 6, Taurus at 8, Gemini at 10, Cancer at 12, Leo at 2, Virgo at 4, Libra at 6, Scorpio at 8, at 10 o'clock is Sagittarius, and then that'll lead back to 12 o'clock in Capricorn. So that's how the Western astrology. Now, if you don't know anything about the Western astrology and what each sign means, well, guess what? I know about them, but I know more about them numerically. Like if you ask me about Gemini, right? That's number 57. We're going to connect to the moons, male and female. If you ask me about Cancer, because it's the 4th sign, it's going to connect me to both worlds, right? And it's going to divide my day in between 16 and 8 hours, my day and my night. When we talk about the month of March, okay, it's going to be connecting me to the moons. And then we have Easter in the month of March. The numeric value for March is 43. April is 56. And we're going to connect that to the 2 moons of Mars, 28, 28. Unlike the Lamb moon, which is 28. That's where I get it. Mars has 2 moons. The cycle of our moon is 28. Mars has 2 moons, 28, 28 equals 56, and creates movement within time. Within time. Why? 2 and 2 is 4, 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. So there's a whole intricate pattern being woven, right, in order to create all these a connecting of all these situations, all these realities. They are actually happening in numbers. Give me a minute. I'm going to get some hot tea. How you doing? I'm warming up some hot tea. Okay, so where are we? Where are we? The numerologists right now on this planet, okay, every single numerologist, okay, has something different to offer. We must all come together to understand the numbers within themselves. What is the difference between 100%? What is the difference at 90? When we say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, what does it say to you? If you ask me one of them, I'll tell you what they mean to me. If you ask me about 11, 22, 33, or 44, did you know there are 4 11s? There's 4 11s. Okay? There's 4 11s on 2 sides of one dice cube. There are 8 11s between 2 dice cubes. 8 11s. I'm not sure if I want to share it. But I will show you something before I do. We're going to go back to finish this. When you have a dice cube, it has 6 sides. The total of the 6 sides is 21. The lower side, or the ring side, is right here. It equals to 10. The pole side, meaning 2 sides, equals to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. EF 11. Windows 10, Windows 11. The reason I said Windows, I added the S19, equals to 107. At the same time, it'll lower to 98. And at the same time, it'll equal to 89, the heaven's birth. The reason for that is the S letter. The S is the most special letter in the alphabet. It is the 19th letter. It reverses to create the H in its place because the birth comes within the heart of the heavens. The birth comes within the heart of the heavens. 1 heart 2 8. Right? Did you understand? 1 is the heart 2 8. So when the 1 is the heart 2 8, just going to see if I have this. Just because I said the letter T-O, right, I can use it as 2. Because there's 1 element in the center of the total. 8, 1 in the center, total is 9. When you look at your keyboard, you're going to see an 8 and you're going to see a 9 and a 0. When you see the 8, it's going to have a star because we live amongst the connecting stars. I'm just going to see if I have at least one of those images here in this book or in one of my books. Not in this book. Well, I know it's not in that book. I'm going to have to draw you one up because I don't have a nice looking one. Another thing is what we're going to look at is, have you ever seen the pharaoh wearing this? It's the cut corners of the octagon. Okay, see these cut corners? It's an expression of 5775 where your 66 woman or your 8th gate is right over here. Here's your 7 and 8. 7 and 8 is 15, 1 and 5 is 6, it becomes 666. Between 55, sky pass. This is where we come in the month of December, right? The month of December, the 25th of the month, sky pass. Okay, so I'm going to draw this up. The other thing is, here's one of the wings. 4 numbers here and 4 numbers here. 10 on the low side, or 100%. 30 on the bottom side, or what we work as 90. 30, 30, 30. And this spins around. See the way it's over here? 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. Then it changes over here. See these numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. Check it out. 7, 7, 13, 1 and 3 is 4. 11, 1 and 1 is 2. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 and 2 is 7. 6 and 5, 11, 1 and 1 is 2. 4, 9, 13, 1 and 3 is 4. 7, 4, 2, 6 for the low side. 7, 4, 2, 6 for the high side. 9 and 1, sorry, let's do this together. 6 and 1 comes together is 7. 2 and 8, the cycle in the moon, right? 28 days. Venus and Neptune, 44, dividing the night and the day. 9 and 4 come together. Put the ring on the finger in Mars and bring together 4 and 9, 13. 1 and 3 is 4. We did 8. 7 is number 2. And we put it with number 3, Earth at the 7th gate. 65, 56, 2 and 2. This is how the numbers come together. 3-letter word, 3-letter word, 5-letter word, the E world. 4-letter word, this world became the mirror world, or the ring, right? This one over here can also show you the 5 sides of the cube. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that'll go with 3. 3 and 8 come together, the monkey. 9 is 4 letters, so we're going to switch it all with the 9 and the 4 are going to come together, right? And they do come together, 6 and 6, so they come together more than once. So now I'm going to just draw up for you this small little star. Oh, I could have did it over there. Well, I don't really like what I'm doing. You know, I don't really like what I'm doing. I shouldn't have done that. The dogs just mixed me up a little bit. So let me show you one other piece that was here. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get my head in the game. Trying to get my head in the game. Yeah, and there's a patent pending, right? I'm not. Should I get into that? I'm trying to see where I am with these questions here. We're 3 people. Wow, we have. Why doesn't the hearts work? Wow, 400 hearts, right? How come we should be getting thousands? Maybe I should be painting my face, eh? Okay, so Skylar, what have you been trying to figure out for 3 years? Look at the time 111. Yes, so when you look at the time 111, right? Right? When you look at the time 111, what you're going to see is 71 minutes is 111. 222 is 2 times 71 minutes, which is 60 plus 11. So the reality of that is what you're going to be saying is you, okay, are in the doghouse. 71, okay, is 60 plus 11. The reason I'm saying this, okay, you're in the house of creation, right? First level, second level, third level. On the third level, it's going to be 333. It'll be 71, 71, 71. So you're going to get 11, 11, 11. And that is going to be related to the cube, the ring and the pole on the cube. When you come into the mirror, which is 4 by 71, which will be 444, you come into the mirror of that cube. So although you get 60 and 11, 60 and 11, 60 and 11, there is another 60 and 11 because there are four. There are four on a dice cube. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go get a dice cube. There are four of them. Okay? And that 11 is going to create 44. 44 and 240. So it's going to create two situations. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 8 and 6. That's your division at the 7th gate. That is where your 9 birth comes in. And your 9 birth comes in is because you are 6 plus 1 plus 2, 216 or 666 equals to 216. The reason for that is because of the moon association. The moon association between Earth and Mars. Matter and energy. 77 and 74. Also noted to be what is the Jesus or Jesus and the Christmas, the matter of the Christ, the power and communication within the soul. The same names as Jesus Christ. Exactly the same in numerology. Then we go to and understand that within the name is a verb. Jesus can also be J, J-A, which means I have. It also says that in the word J, the letter J comes out. When the J comes out in that word, the French people sound it off like a G, and they sound the G like a J, and it's the star system exchange what is J10 to what is G7, and the Earth number is 52. 5 times 2, 10. 5 plus 2, 7 creates the number 17. That's once you come into the J, what you have done is you have done A, B, C, and D day into creation. D-A-Y. That Y is a creation, is the 3 times 120, which is a partition of what is the 3 times, I'm going to write this again, 3 times 120 for the 360, for what is your birth life, which is 4 times 90 equals to the 360, and Mars, Earth, switching over through the metric system, a transition system. They don't touch together. They're not like this. They're in the system here. When they go over to the other side, they don't touch. Let me see if I can... It's got to be somewhere. Yeah, here. Anybody like to participate? Okay, but that's not the most important. The most important is that we learn, right? We learn the sine wave. Going through an area space straight across and cutting through these lines, you need to go up, down, up, down. You can't go past these lines, right? You have to go corner to corner on the line or on an angle. That's what ends up for this happening. It's the only way to get through. So let me, oh, here it is, right here. Here's an R, that's 18. When you take out that measuring thing to make a circle, this plane over here is the 180 degree equator. But it's the 180 degree where it's on this side 180 and this side 180. But instead of 180, right, it's the 18th letter R. See the way the cap of the D brings it together? The two arms will now replace one of these, and now you're going to have this R divided right here. You live in between the two sides, 18, 18, you're 360. You're alpha beta creation. You attach your one moon above you to connect to the complete cycle of 28, 4 parts of Venus, where they... I'm going to get the Mr. Dog. I believe it's given to you is only my belief. My question would be to you is to answer my question. Hold on a second, I'm going to get the dog. And then I'm going to check my hot water that I made boil for... Well, you know, the thing about Marvin is you can make anything be worth anything. A VIN number is a number that you put on your car so we can keep track of it. The V1 is for 6, and you're going to run with Saturn. You have Mar as the RAM, and I like to use the RAM as dividing two sides, right? Although the reality of division, if I had to use the RAM, I would displace the number 1 and put it in the 5 position. But then with 12 zodiac signs, what happens with that? Now, are we using 6 and 6 zodiac signs? Should I take 3 of the zodiac signs, right? Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and use them over 1, 2, and 3? So should I use them as a chain hook, those 3 of them, because they're repeating numbers? Is it because we come into the world where we're awake and asleep, so I need to use 6 for the awake and 6 for the sleep? Unless I use 9 for awake and I use 3 for the sleep. Hold on. Or I use 8 for awake and I use 6 for the sleep. But what it tells me about my sleep and awake is it also tells me 9 and 6, as well as it tells me 16 and 8. So either I'm going to go to a 15-hour day, or I'm going to keep it at the 24-hour day. Now, if I keep it to the 15-hour day, it's going to be 50, and I shouldn't even be on this subject right now. It's how numbers break down, right? I'm just going to skip back to when you have A, B, C, D, right? 10, you have 100% of something. A, B, C, D is 100. A, B, C is 60. A, B, D is 70. A, C, D is 80, and B, C, D is 90. You go bowling, we bowl for 300. Our ABCD is 100% of itself. Our ABC 60 is 100% of itself. Our ABD 70 is 100% of itself. Our ACD 80 is 100% of itself, and our BCD 90 is 100% of itself. So then if you would get 9 out of 10, or 8 out of 10, or 7 out of 10, or 6 out of 10. Now, if you would get half of each of these, you would end up with this. 9 times 5, 8 times 5, 7 times 5. Moon comes in over here. 6 times 5. This is our birth, our ABCD birth. We jump into this one, right? But we must change this for this. This is the heart of the cube. 3.5. 1.28 times 28 to equal into this one over here. The cube has 3 poles on it. at this. It has 3 poles at this. Does that mean I have to multiply everything by 3? I don't know, but that's one of the equations in this game. Do I know okay, historic. Do you know the connection of the number 19 and rituals? No, I do not, but I can tell you what 19 is. I mean, I can tell you that one of the things about 19, where it's located in words, that if the Lord created everything in transparency, it would be lightning, would be 19. It would be Nintendo, is also 19. It's an association of 10 and 9 equal to 19, as A, B, C, D equals to 10, and B, C, D, our birth, equals to 9, right? So it's the complete system and our birth within that system. Now, if I go if I go 10 plus 9 equals 19, or 10 minus 9 equals 0, 1. So when you have 19, you're going to have the moon involved in this, right? But they're going to have to do something 3 times they're going to have to do something 3 times and then 4 times to involve this. The base thing of getting 19 is you have that, it's the spirit of 76, comes from the half-life area, okay? It's 13 that will create the 19. It's an AC/DC. Okay, so whatever AC/DC means, whether it's direct current or altered current, it can mean that. Talking about the moon, 19 connects to the moon, and it also talks about the church. Okay, it talks about the half-life, because 19 doesn't come alone. 19 is on the high side. It's 16 on the low side. It's also for spirit. 91 is the word spirit, which is 13 by 7. And 13 is what originally will create the connection between Mars and Earth. It will bring in the mirror world. It'll come onto the ring. And when it comes onto the ring, number 22 is apparent. 22 and 14 shows its apparency when that happens. Let me see. I usually know more that if I was told what's in the ritual, I can find where the numbers connect. And when we find where the numbers connect, we can find words and their definitions in order to make more of to create, what do you call it? To create, give it form. You remember the Lord apparently somewhere in the Bible says we're going to give it form, right? We're going to give it form. So I heard a guy mention it. It's funny, the word guy all in itself, it sounds like chicken soup guy, you know what I'm saying? Makes you hungry for some Chinese. Just talking about that and just you mentioning that, obviously everybody'd like to know that here in Canada, when you're in a French place, right, what they usually call Chinese is Shin. And it usually, when you're calling your mother, you go machine. So now you can know that the relationship of China would be the relationship to the machine, right? It's a system. It's a patternized system that's happened, that the fleshy robotic, they somehow capably, over time, turned them into the machine, right? That's what happens. So they become the machine. It becomes part of the Mars system. The AM or the AME, the AME in French is said as Om. They say the word lip balm, right? But also, if you change around the word name for nom, and that would be the French sound for name anyways, it would be nom. And then if you switch around the word for game, right? Name and game, you would have nom, and then gom. And you'd be talking about the N and the G, like in Genesis, like in Nasera Jacera, where the G and the N come together, the G being for the moon, 7, and the N being for the electric sun, N, which runs the cycle of the moon. The N in name, bringing on sun, will run the cycle of the moon, or it'll be the movement to the cycle. We need 2 N's in order to do it. Therefore, we must need 2 names in order to do this. Perhaps the reason why In the family, the woman changes her last name because N and N equals to 28, and that's a cycle of one moon. So are there any more questions here? Don't forget to like and share the channel if you find it interesting. Then please share the channel. Let's bring everybody together. What is the formation of bringing everything together? Why is it so important? The big question is, do you believe in frequency? Do you believe that every time you breathe, okay, you breathe out every thought that is inside of you? When you go to the bathroom, when you breathe, right? Imagine bringing in a sample. You go into for a blood test and they say, bring me in a sample of the one or the two. So what would that mean? Let me take a swab in your mouth. What would that mean? So if all these things have meaning, then every breath you take, spit into the air, sending out whatever it could or whatever it does, has meaning. It all has meaning. This entire planet has a meaning. It's called the life. It's called the energy. Regardless what we do with our energy, regardless what we believe, it's constant. It's here. Something's growing, something's living. It has the right recipe for life, for the human soul to occupy these bodies. Yes, I did. I filed a report for my missing hair. But when the thing about the missing hair is, let me write that down, right? Because you connect to the alternative moon, right? I'm going to show you this because you're talking about hair. Here, this is how it works. The A part in hair splits the heavens because you have this side and you have this side. That's your H going across. Your H splits. Your A is the highest point down to the bottom floor, so you're plugged in on each side. That's your A. Your I divides everything as you're on the land of R&R, rest and relaxation. So this is where your hair comes in. So what happens when you lose your hair? You're losing the communication within the alternative part. So now then, if you want to talk about how we got here into the receivership that we are in, we came in through the egg and the brevet, the little fish, April 1st. The communication, you remember? Day of the Poisson, the divided sun, the sperm brought us here. Did you know sperm is number 71, egg is number 19? Did you know that that Virgo is 71? And we have Pisces. Let me see, 16 and 9 is 25 and 38. 25 and 38 is 63 plus 3 plus 5. But Pisces is very funny because in the word, it tells me there are many, many, many fish. It also tells me we're in the life, for example, of the crossing moons. And where it shows me this is because there's two S's, okay? S is going to be a relevancy of connecting part of the star. S, when it's reduced to a single digit, to a double digit, it reduces down to 10. The S is the 19th, 1 and 9. There's a separation from 8. The reverse of it is H within itself. S and H come together. S will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 will create the S over here, right? Which is one of the wings. Let me look through my book. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. Let me look. Maybe it's in here. The letter S. Here, down here, through the E world. We have to go through the E world down here. So now, since the S goes through the E world on its first strike, and not only once, it goes through it twice, right? We go 1 over to 5, over to 9, over here. See that right here? We cross through the E world. Every time you cross through it, you get an E. So 2 to 8, you get an E. 3 over to 7, you get an E. And here on the same horizon, this one is a 1 and 1 movement. This one is a 4 and 4 movement. Connecting 3 and 7 is a 2 and 2 movement. It's going to be respected to be within the sun. This one is going to be a 4 movement over here. You mirrored the world. You brought the 9 birth under the house of the split sun. Here is your 40 star, 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6. But the movement this way is 1 and 1, 11. 11 is your base creation, your base 3 creation of alpha beta, dividing what seems like to be the 2 suns. Possibly one of those suns are within us and then living under the sun system. The Urantia world, utopia. It's a perfect world. Absolutely perfect. You know why it's a perfect world? I can do it all on paper. I can redo this entire world for every number on paper. Individually separated 50 stars, in between 49 creates 99, represents Jupiter. Union Jack. Union Jack. A reverse alphabet of what is Mars. The dog and the cat. When you put 4 cats together, each cat is a cube. Each cube has 8 sides representing the dog. Yet when you show the basis of it, right, inside its hexagon basic design, you only see 6 cat to what is an 8 dog, 6 sides. The cube has 8 corners living inside the doghouse. When you squeeze this one against this one, it looks like that. When you want to go to bed at night, you bring these 2 down, these 2 spread out. 4 and 6, 2 and 8. I'm going to get my tea in the kitchen. Yes, so yes, we've got that piece on the missing hair. You're absolutely right. So why I said is with the missing hair is we collapsed on communication, because we all know that rabbit ears, which is CB codes in the house of BC, right, is always stamping out, okay, 2 dots, 1 and 1, I, and then it stamps with its tail. So you always get, let me show you the markings. You know, I started here with a pen, and I have no pen. Oh, there it is. No, here it is. There it is. I got the pen. Could have been a pig pen. You know, if it was a pen, I'd be sad, because in French it's sad. Or how about pen? Like in initials, right? What would be pen? Proton, electron, and neutron. How about 15 pens? So what we're going to do here is, I forgot what I was going to say, but I'm going to say something anyways. Let me see where I was. Oh yes, I was doing the bunny rabbit. The bunny rabbit is right here. Here's the bunny rabbit. So we got the 2 moons in the front here with 11 and the 1 moon over here. This is the way the bunny rabbit, the front 2 paws, the back paws, and then every time it sits down, the tail. So here's your bunny rabbit hop. So every time it hops, this over here, right, and this over here should do. Now, how much area space does it hop over is my question, right? So would this be the bunny rabbit hop? Just asking that question. So we went over before that when we get to 71, we must say it this way. We must always announce 11 with 71 in French. So we say it this way, right? But what happens once we get here, we're going to have to use this. We cannot say 80. Once I jump off of here, I can't say 80. I have to go 4 times 20, which is automatically telling me, okay, possibly that I cross through the 11th gate, the sky pass, in December. And the reason for that is over here. When I cross between 2 and 9 and 3 and 8 and 6 and 5, the heart that goes over here, the halfway point here, is 5.5. So in my 11th world that I cross twice, 411, I now come into what is 80, right? Sorry, 90. because I connect this area over here, the center here, the 5 area, the 55 area, the sky pass, which goes right between here and here, 6 and 5, 11, E and F, right over here. The E and F reverse, okay, is going to be what is 1 and 2 base. It's also going to be at the 7th gate, 3 and 4, 6 and 1, 5 and 2, sorry. 5 and 2 and 6 and 1 crossover will be that 7. That's your crossover when connecting the 11s, where 5.5 over here, right, once you cross over, right, into the 90s is 4 by 20 to get into those 90s. And here's the 5.5 area crossing. I'm going to see if there's any more questions. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? So we're down to my last one person here, and I think I'm looking for more questions. Otherwise, Merry Christmas. And why Merry and why Christmas? Join me in my next live video sometime tonight near 11 o'clock, possibly 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30, maybe 10:45. What I'd like to bring up in that video is I want to talk about this. The difference between 15 minutes and 20 minutes. We're also going to have the differences of 5, 10, 15, and 20. And everything else in between because I'm the numbers guy. Anyways, I have things to do this afternoon. Thank you for being here. Sorry I got to go. If you have any questions for me, let me know, and let me know quick, because I think the dogs have to go for a pee-pee. Or not, but I do. Cheers.